Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and today we're going to do a little update video and possibly a pruning on my money tree clump. My buddy at Odd Bonsai asked me if the tree's recovered following the last pruning. I did a really hard pruning on one of the 5 trees, taking off all of its foliage and taking it down to the older wood. And yes, it has budded back and has been growing out nicely. So I didn't realize, but this clump, this money tree clump, is like really overgrown. So we're going to take off some of the larger leaves and see what we got. So that's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. All right, so I have been absolutely freezing all day because every Monday for the past 9 Mondays, I've done the Master Cleanse, which is 100 ounces of water, 2 teaspoons cayenne pepper, 2 teaspoons organic maple syrup, and a whole lemon or orange. You chop it up, squeeze it, and drop the whole piece of fruit in there. And that's all you get for the day, are those 100 ounces of liquid. Hey, dogs. They love to just like bark for no reason, and then the other one comes running like they're gonna save the day, and then that dog starts barking, and it drives me insane. But anyways, they may actually be barking at a bobcat. I've seen bobcat out here, fox, tons of bunnies, but why would you bark at a bunny? Okay, getting focused again. So in this planting, I believe this is what's intended to be the front. This was a gift from a nursery, and they were all kind of tied together with like those like bread wrappers things, the twisty ties. And I undid them and tried to like arrange them in a fun way. And then there was just this one you see here. It was straight up, and then past here it was straight up, and all these have a nice little flow to them, and then that one specifically was just not fitting in. So I did a hard chop. If you go back on the Money Tree playlist, you could totally check that out. So there's a nice shiny rock up here. These are like white stones that are glued together, and then we have some sort of ground cover moss, and then underneath, clearly it's going to be soil. And then I have my little money frog. I can't really remember the history on it, but apparently it's supposed to bring good luck, and it has a coin sitting in its mouth. So anyways, that's the situation we've got. As you can see, these leaves, some of them are absolutely huge. So what I want to do first is I'm going to prune off some of these larger leaves. And you can see this one down here. This is actually, and we've got buds here. So this one that I did a hard chop on, totally budded back. I believe it's probably been about 6 weeks. So that is growing out, and then this one is coming nicely, which I like it because it's going through the planting, which brings it back into incorporating it as part of this clump. You know, it's really, really separate, and I haven't considered removing it, but then that would have left me with 4 trees, which is bad luck and a faux pas in bonsai. So luckily I saved it. I can't believe how large these leaves got. When they're smaller, they almost look like a schefflera or a dwarf umbrella tree. But so if I didn't say why I was freezing, like when you cleanse and you only have the liquid in your body, you don't eat anything in a day. Like it's really great. You feel awesome the following days, and it really, helps clean out filter your organs. That's what the cayenne pepper does. Filters your kidneys and liver, and gets your digestive tract all right. But you end up freezing. I call it the cleanse chills. You just have to take your mind off food completely and remember that you're doing it for your own personal health. People have been cleansing, fasting for centuries. Anyone who says, "Oh, I don't think that's good for you," they really don't know what they're talking about. I've been in the health and wellness business for 20 years. I've only been in bonsai for a little over 3. So that side of things, I know a lot more than these trees. Now, this one, you see now it's left the largest leaf on the clump, but because I chopped it so hard last time, and it's actually doing what I want it to and incorporating itself with the rest of the planting, I'm going to leave this today, and I'm not going to touch that at all. Obviously, I'm going to leave this little budding coming out the back. We have some growth here on this one. This actually has split, and it's kicking off on where it split twice, so that's cool. Where I pruned it last time, there's just a little bit of dead wood. I'm going to take that down. Now I got to make some decisions with the other trees. I think it's getting a little bit leggy for the size pot and the actual planting. So I think what I want to do is make this one, since it's split and it's got 2 healthy branches already, I want to make that the apex. So I'll make that the top. And I could really use these and make some nice cuttings out of them. So I think I'm going to prune these 3 trees. I'm going to leave the one that I pruned hard last time, and this one towards the middle that I'm going to make my apex. And this time I had just this side growing towards the window, so a lot of growth went this way, which was my intention, because the previous time I had it turned with that towards the window and everything grew in that direction. If you could see here, kind of get the directionality of where I was going. So this time it was growing back across the pot. So I don't know that I want to lose all of that, but I also want to bring her down. This one is kind of the cool one. It's got a nice little root, comes through the middle and then up. So I think since I had success with this guy, I'm going to kind of do the same with this one. I'll take it about halfway through here, and then maybe we'll get some coming this way and some coming this way. This is going to be a great cutting. I'm just going to take off this last leaf. And I believe with the last ones, the last time I used this for a cutting, I just stuck it in some soil and left it for a little bit and then watered it normally like everything else. And it's taken and it has rooted, and it's kicking off some new growth. So I'm going to do that again. A lot of times I soak my cuttings in water until I get roots and then I plant them, or I use a rooting hormone powder, but I think I'm out of the rooting hormone powder, and since I've had success before, I'll go with it. So now these, they crisscross, which I like. That's really cool. But they haven't divided at all. They still just have the single trunk. So I'm going to take it down to right where they cross, and that'll be below my apex. And hopefully, like I said with the other one, we'll get it to divide in 2 and give me a more dense, low canopy. I would love to just have this nice money tree umbrella. And I want this one to grow tall, because I want to, if these don't fuse together, I want it to be a nice tight clump, you know, its whole life. So that's the goal with this one. And here, if this wasn't a clump, I would take this down to like here, because I wouldn't want it growing across my planting. But I do want these kind of intertwining with each other. So right where it crisscrosses, I'll take that one out too. So I'll probably do a lucky planting of 3 with my money tree cuttings. So why don't I bring you in for the close-up? Because I think that's all I'm going to do today. All right, so you see my little frog in there. And I got that at a gem shop. It was like gems and precious stones and cool things. And I thought it would look good in a planting. I believe it's from Chinese culture, but don't quote me on that. See, I like that. This little root coming out. growing across. I like the shiny rock. These are kind of bootleg. I would prefer to have some loose stone, but it does actually make it a little difficult to water, and I'm going to have to do something about it in the future, because if these trunks continue to grow wide, they're going to get distorted by growing into the glued or hardened off little pebbles they have there. Okay. And then you see there's my apex. This one's beautiful. It splits, divides, and then we've got some branching coming out here. I would love to get another branch on this one, another branch on this one, and a couple on these three. Looks like I'm already going to have that with these. So that was a successful pruning. So yes, my friend at Odd Bonsai, it did grow back, and this is the current status of my planting. So what I'll probably do is, I'll probably put this side, this side facing the window again, because everything I cut back to is still coming a little bit this direction. So to even it out, I'd like to have it all right here, and then a nice canopy within the pot. And then certainly in the future, I won't let the leaves grow this large. I mean, that's insane. Boom, boom. All right. So that's going to do it for today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai, y'all. Quick video. My money tree clump. It's fun. It grows back really well from hard pruning, which builds confidence, because if you're like me and you've tried a lot of different techniques on a lot of different trees, there isn't always success. So I'm glad we did have it with this one. And there's much more to come from the ranch, y'all. About a week away from putting all of my bonsais that wintered off indoors out onto the new bonsai benches. And the setup at the ranch is going to be sweet. So I can't wait to do that and share it with y'all. So check back another time. If you want to get reminded of this, hit that subscribe and notification 1 to 3 a week. They'll let you know. So I'm Jared Paul. Take care, y'all. Cheers.